Radio Lewes. Local webcasting for a worldwide audience.
Welcome to the last of the King Mob, the early years reissues. Yes, King Mob will be back next week with a brand new show. In the meantime, this is Hit or Miss, first published on the 17th of July 2018.
Hi, it's King Mob, full of beans, on Radio Lewes. This week, we're doing like a contest or a home quiz or an armchair thing, where I'm going to play singles that you might or you might not know, and then I'm going to ask you to decide, is it a hit or was it a miss? There you go. That's the John Barry 7 with the theme from Jukebox Jury. Fab show from the 60s where boring people decided whether or not songs would be a hit that week or a miss. Of course, that was in a time when many fabulous singles came out every week, along with a few duds. Anyway, speaking of duds, before we get the old quiz and the fun thing going, I have to apologize about last week's show. Lord Beezer apparently drunk on air, incontinent. I mean, the most worrying thing about it is actually listener feedback has been great and they want him back. So I guess at some point in the future we'll allow Lord Beezer back in the studio, but not too quickly because the man's a mess. You know, not to put too fine a point on it, it's just a mess. His life is just, it's fractured. Anyway, back to the game. Now, here's a track by DJ Sammy, who you may have heard of. A great singer called Sharon Wolf, who you may have heard of. I never had heard of her. And a guitar sample by Mr. Rory Gallagher. And this track is called Rockstar. But was it a hit or was it a miss?
Okay, let's go.
The man by the bar smiling, staring
Anyway, great though that was, complete miss. Nobody went for it. So I should have a sound effect, really. It's really pathetic. But that's the best I can do at short notice. That's the sound effect that I'm going to use from now on throughout the show for Hit or Miss. And on to our next Hit or Miss. Fantastic singer now, Bobby Womack. And boy, when this single came out, 90s, I think, I was crazy for it. But was it a hit? Or was it a miss?
I'm looking for a love. I'm looking for a love. I'm gonna find. I've got to find someone. I've got to find a love. I'm looking for a love. Every day I'm looking for a love. Well, now, and I'm looking here and there, and I'm searching everywhere, and I'm looking.
That's another miss. How did people miss that one? We're just talking about this here in the studio. I mean, like, these great tracks and all this stuff, and people just... It's timing, is what I think it is. I think that some records come out, they're way ahead of the time, or they're just behind it, or whatever. But anyway, there's Bobby Womack, who's... I don't know if you know the story, but... Bobby was Sam Cooke, who's another great hitmaker. He was his protege. And when Sam died, too young, Bobby Womack was like half her age, married Sam Cooke's wife within 2 months of Sam Cooke's death. And that really alienated people in the soul music community, which is why I never understood why people would say, yeah, Bobby Womack. But it was... kind of a little untimely. So timing being everything. Even Elvis. I mean, when Elvis came back in 1968 with the TV special, he'd been really dead in the water for years. I mean, he kind of had hits, but they were those kind of, bomb of the top 40 things. He was stuck in all those lousy movies. But when he came back in 1968 with the comeback TV special, wow, an unbroken chain of stuff. In the Ghetto, Suspicious Minds, Polk Salad Annie, and then this one. But was it a hit or was it a miss?
I got something to tell you that I think you ought to know. That my eyes on you, baby, since a long time ago. Now I finally got the nerve and I'm gonna make my move. Now don't you try to turn me off, 'cause it's gonna be hard to do. I got a thing about you, baby, ain't nothing I can do. I got a thing about you, baby, a thing about loving you. Ain't no two ways about it, baby, your love was meant for me. I know that I can't do without it, it fits me to a T. Ooh, there's something about you, baby, can't get you off my mind. I know that I can't live without you, I think about you all the time. I got a thing about you, baby, ain't nothing I can do. I got a thing about you, baby, I think about loving you. Ain't it just like a woman when she knows she's got a man? She'll ring you out and turn you about in the palm of her hand. Then she starts thinking that maybe she'll put you in a bind. She'll give you just a little love and it'll drive you out of your mind. I got a thing about you, baby, ain't nothing I can do. Got a thing about you, baby, a thing about loving you. I got a thing about you, baby, ain't nothing I can do. I got a thing about you, baby, think about loving you. I got a thing about you, baby, I got a thing about you.
Well, there you go. Actually, it was a teeny tiny hit. But really, it was this last... No, I've got an effect for that as well. The effect for the hit goes, ding! That's it. I could hold it a couple of beats. Ding! That's better. We'll go with the 2-beat version. So there's L and with Thing About You Baby. Another cute thing about that track, it's one of those tracks where each verse adds a different instrument, so you get this nice build. And plus, Cissy Houston is singing the backup vocals, who is Whitney Houston's mum. And I think that's... I'm not sure who's on guitar, but it's a really cool record and was just a tiny, teeny, tiny hit. Okay, let's deal with The Who.
I know you deceived me, now here's a surprise. I know that you have, 'cause there's magic in my eyes. I can see for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. Oh yeah. If you think that I don't know about the little tricks you play and never see you when deliberately you put things in my way, well, here's a poke at you. You're gonna choke on it too. You're gonna lose that smile because all the while I can see for miles and miles. I can see for miles and miles. I can see for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. Oh yeah. You took advantage of my trust in you when I was so far away. I saw you holding lots of other guys, and now you've got the nerve to say that you still want me. Well, that says maybe, but you gotta stand trial, because all the while I can see for miles and miles. I can see for miles and miles. I can see for miles and miles and a surprise. I know that you have, 'cause there's magic in my eyes. I can see for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. Oh yeah. The Eiffel Tower and the Taj Mahal might see on clear days. You thought that I would need a crystal ball to see right through the haze. Well, here's a poke at you, you're gonna choke on it too. You're gonna lose that smile, because all the while I can see for miles and miles. I can see for miles and miles. I can see for miles and 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 miles. I can see for 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 miles.
Pete Townsend. Wow, what a songwriter. But that one was a bit of a shock for him. Actually, it was a hit. Ding! I wonder if that's C sharp. It was a hit for him, but not big. And they'd had a run of really good hits, My Generation, Pictures of Lily, and suddenly he got a bit of a shock, actually. And he mentioned this in an interview, that made him think that the Who were like disposable, like a pop group. Like they'd had some hits, and then you have less hits, then it's like a wind down, and then it's eventually goodbye, or the vintage circuit. Not that there was a vintage circuit then. So out of that experience, and it's a great single, by the way, I love it. It was one of my favorites by The Who, but it really didn't do the business. And wrong timing, or they'd been around, and new people were coming up in the 60s. Out of that experience, he sat down and wrote Tommy. And that cemented their place in a whole different way outside of the singles market. But we're not interested in albums and concept albums. We will be at some point. But today, we're interested in singles. And like this one by Sophia. Was it a hit? Or was it a miss?
I thought I knew you, but I guess I was wrong. You only see the things you convinced yourself you saw. But like you said, I guess, yeah, maybe I'm blind. Well, why don't you open your eyes? You might like what you find. 'Cause I've been waiting for such a long time. Your love is still fresh in my mind. And oh my love, though I wait, can't you see? I can't wait forever for you to say you love me. I was wrong. You only see the things you convinced yourself you saw. Well, like you said, I guess, yeah, maybe I'm blind. Well, why don't you open your eyes? You might like what you find. such a long time. Your love is still fresh in my mind. And oh my love, though I wait, can't you see? I can't wait forever for you to say you love me. And oh my love, though I wait, can't you see? I can't wait forever for you to say you love me. I've been waiting for such a long time. Your love is still fresh in my mind. And oh my love, though I wait, can't you see? I can't wait forever for you to say you love me. And oh my love, though I wait, can't you see? I can't wait forever for you to say you love me. And oh my love, though I wait, can't you see? I can't wait forever for you to say you love me.
Well, that's a great record. And it came out in the early part of the century and was a... Why? Again, timing. Missed the slip between the cracks, but it's a great record. And sometimes I play that to people and they go, wow, that's just absolutely fantastic. I hope you feel the same way. And that's the educational power of radio, to expose people to new music they haven't heard before, which is kind of what the King Mob show is all about, along with filthy gags and vague surrealism and the occasional downright lie. And 1982, I think this record came out, next one, Rocky Burnett, Tired of Towing the Line. And was it a hit?
You've just played Rocky Burnett.
Have I? No, I haven't.
Yes, you have. That was what it was, wasn't it?
No, we just played, I changed the thing and we played Sophia.
Right, silence.
No, it's fine. Then let's have an on-air argument. Let's clear the air here. I don't just because I don't mind having an on-air argument with you, Ben, because in this case, rarely, I was right. And mostly you're right and I'm wrong. So we don't want to, but in this case, leave this in the show because I'm right. Here's Rocky Burnett, Tired of Towing the Line.
Baby,
Well, Rocky's version didn't make it, which makes it... The good news is, for the songwriter anyway, the song was actually a hit a few years later. The remarkable Welsh wizard Shakin' Stevens, who used to play for Cardiff City, was a left-winger. Excuse me. He had a hit with it, and it was rubbish. I'm sorry, but compared to Rocky's just dynamic, and he's got that popping falsetto, high note, and Shaky was just dismal. Really? Anyway, bless him. Now, the next one, really, I mean, let's play the game. Is it a hit or is it a miss? But actually, this one's a no-brainer because it's my record, and it's a song I put out in the early 80s. And if it had been a hit, it would have led to an unbroken chain of success. I would be living the fat life on a big house on the hill. I'd have a wife half my age who wanted a new kitchen every 6 months and a complete team of lawyers, accountants, and independent financial advisors bleeding me dry. Hey, maybe it's quite appealing. Anyway, so I put the next song I put out, 1982, and I can tell you now it was but it's a fabulous record if I say so myself, and I do. It's called 9 O'Clock.
What is this now? The great escape. Run away, run away, run away, run away. Like a fish rushing at the open sea. Run away, run away, run away, run away. Love is dirt, and what worse is hurt. I need you at 9 o'clock. Not 6, not 7, not 8. 9 o'clock. My watch. Oh, it never stops. Never stop, never stop, never stop, never stop. I strike at 9 this time. Hey! I'll be there, don't you worry. At 9 o'clock, don't you worry. This love, oh, it never stops. Never stop, never stop, never stop, never stop. It's dirt, what's worse, it hurts. 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I use bell go ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. I use bell go. I use bell go. I use bell go. I use bell go.
Well, there you go. That's 9 O'Clock by Little Snips. And am I bitter about that? That my record company, who should be nameless, EMI, really screwed up on that record, even though it was like Kid Jensen's record of the week, and like the video was on Swap Shop with the fabulous Noel Edmonds, and blah. And am I bitter? Actually, I am a bit. But then I have a coffee and a laugh and a giggle, and I do the radio show. And, you know, life is actually weird. Anyway, that's not your problem. Let's get back onto that hit and miss vibe thing, like DJ thing that I'm doing now. And here's a related single. It came out within, I think, 2 or 3 months of 9 O'Clock. And it's kind of like part of an in-family thing. The drummer, Steve Young from Holly and the Italians, is on that track 9 o'clock. The bass player from Holly and the Italians was my tennis partner in the 70s. The great singer, Holly, and guitar player, had been in a band with my wife, who was bass player, Jackie. And they played together in a 3-piece outfit with this guy that they ditched because he was like a Dylan impersonator. And that was Mark Knopfler. And this story's true, that Holly was playing, I think, my wife would be playing bass. I think Holly she would be playing drums then. She was a drummer. That's right. So my wife and Holly were a rhythm section behind Mark Knopfler. And Mark loved Holly for years afterwards, and even though they dumped him from the band, whatever happened to Mark Knopfler? And so when Holly put it together, we were all pals, and they got signed by Virgin. Huge deal. And Richard Branson, God, he loved Holly. He loved Holly so much, he named his daughter after her. She was born around that time. And they looked great. They sounded great. And here's their first single. But was it a hit or was it a miss? Yeah, well, unfortunately, that also was... So, Holly and the Italians, if you're out there, guys, and I know you are, actually, Mark I still correspond with, and I saw him a few years ago in New York. He lives in New York now. Steve, I don't know where the hell he is. I actually bumped into Steve Young, just completely out of the blue, in Virgin Records in New York somewhere in 1990s when I was there doing a films thing. Actually just bumped into the guy and we went for a coffee together. Great drummer. So he's on both 9 O'Clock and Tell That Girl to Shut Up. But neither of them were hits. Okay, what's next, you might ask? So same with me, actually. But I know what it is. It's hot chocolate. Now, hot chocolate, come on. Unbroken chain of winners, sexy thing, and blah, and good-looking singer with the shaven, with the bald head thing. I never forget. Back in the 70s, my girlfriend and her sister came to stay with us. And we were watching. By the way, her sister's on death row now in Bali, but that's another story. We were sitting watching Top of the Pops, and hot chocolate came on. And there he is, Errol, with his shape. And she's my sister's girlfriend. She just said, "I'd love to sit on his head." I'll never forget it.
are searching for. Mindless boogie, 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 don't stop. Mindless boogie, 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 till we drop.
Well, that's Hot Chocolate with Mindless Boogie. And that's a very cautious ding, because actually it was right at the end of their run of hits and only just scraped the bottom end of the chart. Actually, it's one of my favourites. I really, really like that track. I noticed that they lifted the keyboard line from Eskimo by the Residents. So that's just, but anyway, pop music, you take from here, you take from there. We're all magpies, we're all thieves. As long as it makes a great record, that's fabulous. And here is a great record by a guy from the Faroe Islands. I didn't think the Faroe Islands was a real place. You know, you hear about it on the fishing report or whatever. Did I just say that I listened to the fishing thing? No, I don't. Anyway, but the Faroe Islands is out there, and Dogger, Faroe, I'm doing it again. I really shouldn't, at my age, be sitting listening to the fishing weather forecast, should I? Anyway, here's Tighter with Catherine the Waitress.
Catherine the waitress, if you only knew where my mind is, is there anything you'd like? If I could only tell you, you haven't even noticed me, but oh, you are so good to me. Catherine the waitress, I don't intend to seduce you. I'm not a resident, I'm not a regular, but if I lived here, this would be my favorite bar. Oh, cross my heart and hope to die. I'm not drunk and I'm not high. Oh, the accident happened 1 year ago, according to the lines in my hand. A requiem is playing behind my eyes, but you don't see it, Catherine, do you? Do you? Catherine the waitress, if you only knew where my mind is, is there anything you'd like? If I could only tell you,
so good to me. Lord, you are so good to me. Yes, oh, you are so good to me.
That was Tighter, and I'm Afraid. But interestingly enough, the song lives on and has been covered by a number of female artists. So obviously female singers like Beautiful Waitresses the same way Tighter does. But are you just a little too slow?
He's waiting on last calls. Well, listen, Method Man, 'cause if you leave him the last line, don't leave him the brown kind. But just a little too
Well, that's Too Slow by Crystal Method, and it may be, and is, a club anthem, and you might hear that track a lot. But you know what? Wasn't a hit. Now, this next song, was it a hit? Listen, this song's called Take It and Shove It.
Why don't you take your love and shove it up your big fat ass? You know you're the reason we're through. I'm tired of all the yelling and the fights that we had. They won't be because of you. Hey, you moan and you groan and you bitch and you whine. You make every beef we got last. Well, I'm telling you, baby, I'm through with you. Take your love, shove it up your big fat ass. Hey, I'm better off being all by myself like fucking Celine Dion. I take you out for dinner and a dance and a show. You hate all the people and food. I'm happy, I'm laughing and fun all the time. You're always in a bad mood. I always look forward, I never look back. But you bitch, you dwell in the past. So I'm telling you, baby, I'm through with you. Take your love, shove it up your fucking ass. Let me hear the band. Oh, that's a good band. Let me hear the trombone. That ain't a fucking trombone, sorry. Ah, that's a trombone. Yeah, let me hear that tinkling piano. That ain't tinkling, that's rolling. fucking tinkling. I knew you could do it. Let me hear it. Come on, get going. All right, go. Why would you take your love, shove it up your ass? You know you're the reason we're through. I'm tired of all the yelling and the fights we had. They're all because of you. You moan and you groan and you bitch all the time. You make every beef we got last. I'm telling you, I'm through with you. Stick it up, you big fat ass. You thought you had charm, you thought you had class. You ain't nothing but a big fat ass. Take your love, shove it up your big fat ass.
That's, listen, how come that wasn't a hit? Vincent LaGuardia Gambini, I mean, what happened? I would have thought that would have been just an enormous record. I can't believe that why DJs didn't play that track. I certainly love it, and I hope you're now converted. And anyway, end of a wonderful show, as always, and congratulations to everyone and for playing our kind of music. Anyway, that's what David Jacobs always used to say on his radio show, and I love David Jacobs, and so I'm going to give one more spin on the play out in tribute to the great DJ. Going to play Hit or Miss.
Local webcasting for a worldwide audience.